All right, so going over this quiz, it says in the directions S for speculation subjunctive, D for doubt subjunctive, and I for indicative. I know that I stands for impersonal observations when we're actually looking at the weirdos stuff, but this was really a quiz about the doubt, denial, and disbelief and the speculation subjunctive. And just to recap on that, this is going to be the possible or no posible, sorry, or the, for speculation, the cuando is the crazy one, but otherwise it's like antes de que. The speculation is like the when you finish this, or as soon as you finish this, or as long as you finish this. Well, you may never finish this, so we don't know if that second thing's going to happen, and that's why it's speculation. Over here, I've got posible, no posible, dudo, which literally means I doubt. And then I've also got creo and no creo, and pienso and no pienso. And the thing that's weird there is that creo by itself and pienso by itself are indicative. And of course, indicative is regular old Spanish one. I just learned how to conjugate verbs, conjugations. So creo and pienso are weird because even though I think or I believe sounds doubtful, they're considered to be indicative statements. Now, if I put a no in front of them, then they become doubt. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I had asked y'all on this quiz to kind of divide this in two and write your letters D, I, or S on the left, and then write your answer choices on the right. Now, by my mistake, it will not be this way on your test. The indicative was on the left, and the subjunctive was on the right. Now, don't forget, this is the original quiz right here. I did make an alternative, and the alternative I did switch them up depending on which line you were on. But over here, it was just, in my opinion, a little too easy. So the first thing, and this is my suggestion for when you take the test and the quiz next class, is that you first go through, look at your little statements, and go ahead and write which one of these S, D, or I it is next to the blank. And honestly, on the test, I'm just going to go S or I, subjunctive or indicative. Okay. On the test, you'll have the option on some of them to actually choose whether it was subjunctive or indicative. But it's just a good practice for you to think about because you can't get the conjugation right if you get the mood wrong. No creo. It's doubt, denial, and disbelief. Es verdad que. That's indicative. It's true that. There's no question there. Sabe que. He knows that. That's indicative. There's no judgment there. Antes de que. Before you do something. Well, you know what? You might die before you finish it. So, speculation. Ella duda, doubts. So that's doubt, denial, and disbelief. Mi amiga necesita comer la cena tan pronto como as soon as. So again, she may not ever get home. Speculation. Es evidente. It's evident. 100%. We don't need any help. It's evident. Con condición de que. That's with the condition of, which makes it a speculation because you may not do what I want you to do. Probable, doubt, denial, and disbelief. Probable doesn't mean definite. And cuando, give me the quiz when you finish. Well, lightning may strike the school, causing a fire, and you may never finish the quiz. That is speculation. Cuando, in my opinion, is the tricky one because I'm so used to using that word. It seems so innocuous, but it's not. So honestly, the way I made the key was I went back to all of these I's and wrote A. But yes, the better way to do it is to say, okay, dormir, it's yo, so duermo. Nosotros, is it nadamos or is it nademos? Well, the regular verb is nadar, so it's nadamos. And then over here, nosotros comemos, not comamos. Okay? And then again, I could just go default B for everything else because that was a subjunctive. But if you happen to do the retake of this quiz, I would look and figure out, okay, well, the verb is estudiar. So it's going to be the opposite. You need to do your homework after the game starts. Honestly, this should be empiece. Or empieza. But it'd be before you start the game, sorry. It's 2 a.m. Anyway, yeah. So subjunctive would be this one right here, and of course empezar is a ZAR verb, so it went CES. You practiques, it's the subjunctive. My friend needs to eat her dinner as soon as she gets home. Vengas, these are all subjunctive, that's all I'm doing is finding it. Asistir, the opposite would be asistan. And termines. Now, if I'm doing a verb chart, and I literally had somebody ask me about this, my AR verbs in the subjunctive would be es, hemos, and en. And my ER verb chart in the subjunctive would be a, as, amos, and on. So that's something for you to think about. I'm never going to have estudia if I'm doing subjunctive. That would be indicative. I could have estudié. I have to go to the opposite verb chart. Okay? But these charts are already filled out opposite, right? Because normally AR verbs would end in AS there, so it's already been switched. Okay? Moving right along. Same thing here about the S and the D and the I. The only thing is one of these is a W for wishes, wants, or desires, and that's my fault for not putting that. So, no es posible. That's one that tricks a lot of people. Just because I say it's not possible doesn't mean that it's definitely not going to happen. It's not possible is still a doubt word. In fact, me saying it's not possible is doubtful. So that's denial and disbelief. In caso de que, in case. And a lot of these speculation subjunctives are very like, in caso de que, tan pronto como. Like they're these little phrases, right? Not all of them end in K, but they all are a little clunky usually. The professor sees that we're doing something. That's indicative. We want. That's my wish. Piensan que. My parents believe that, or they think that. Well, that's indicative. Again, if I'm not saying negative belief, if I'm not saying they don't believe, then it's indicative. We always win games. Hasta que, until you, speculation. I think that my brother, again, indicative, I think it's true. Es dudoso. Well, dudoso is D for doubtful. Puede ser que, that's actually under D for doubtful. And now we're going to go back through and actually conjugate. And on this one, we actually had to conjugate it. It wasn't just given to us. So, I know that it's doubt, denial, and disbelief. Nosotros is the subject. Pedimos is a stem changer, E to I. Don't forget that my IR verbs stem change O to U or E to I. In the nosotros form, all stem changers stem change everywhere except for the nosotros form. If they're IR verbs, then they're also going to stem change nosotros form, and these are your only options. So pidamos. This was always just going to be an E to I verb anyway. Debemos estudiar en caso de que haya. So haber gets used two different ways, guys. Haber gets used to say there is or there are, which is what's going on in this case, or to be used for haya estudiado, stuff like that. She or he has studied. Well, we're not saying that. We're saying in case there is a quiz. And when it's used like that, there's only one way you would ever conjugate, and it's haya. A lot of y'all put hayamos, and that would only happen if it was hayamos estudiado. Okay, I'm going to start going a little bit faster so we don't run out of time. La profesora sees that we leemos, regular old leemos. Queremos que los jugadores jueguen. That's subjunctive. It's a stem changer. And it's a gar verb. And since it's a gar verb, it's going to go GUE. So it had two weirdo things happening there, right? Two freaky things. My parents think that I am successful. They think it. It's not subjunctive, it's just indicative. Nosotros always win the game. Ganamos. Regular old ganamos. Hasta que. Clean your room until you finish. Some of y'all did not put that S there, and I think it's because you saw your room and you thought that was a subject. Well, my suggestion there would be to actually read the sentence and make sure you knew what it was saying. I think that my brother what? Is, y'all were like, fue, sea, no, people, is, creo que, it's indicative. Estudoso que nosotros, all right. Conduzco is the yo form of conducir. It's a CIR verb that's preceded by a vowel, so it's going to end in ZCO. And so it would be conduzcamos. And then the last one, puede ser que, it is doubt, denial, and disbelief. So, sea, that's the subjunctive of, for Diego. All right? And that is your quiz explained.